Squid Game really just toss a newborn into a playground built for slaughter, then dare us to keep watching? The moment Season 3 dropped, fans screamed masterpiece, critics yelled exploitative, and Netflix's servers nearly melted under record-shattering streams. Tonight we're digging into the baby that broke the internet, the cast who nearly quit, and the finale twist so brutal even the director called it morally devastating. Buckle up, because the games only get deadlier from here. A lone cry echoed through Episode 2. A real-world infant, dubbed Player 222, strapped into a tiny green tracksuit. In a single frame, Squid Game hurled every taboo at the screen. Korean networks traditionally blur kids' faces during violent news. Here, a baby lies under flickering lights while masked guards chant rule numbers. Viewers gasped, threads exploded, and hashtags ricocheted across Twitter faster than the red light green light doll could swivel its head. What shocked fans most wasn't just the imagery, it was the setup. Gi-hun, still grieving his own daughter's absence, is forced to protect a child he's never met, while the frontman delights in the baby's symbolic purity. Comment sections lit up with accusations of child endangerment, yet streams doubled overnight. Controversy, it seems, is the oxygen of modern hype. But who on earth signed off on weaponizing innocence itself? But that wasn't the whole story. Director Hwang later confessed he'd planted the infant arc in early Season 2 drafts, then yanked it, fearing Netflix would balk. By 2024, he'd changed his mind. "We critique a society that gambles with future generations," he argued in a Seoul press junket. Putting an actual child on the board forces viewers to confront their own complicity. The writers' room reportedly split 50-50, half hailed the metaphor, half called it stunt storytelling. When the cast finally received the Baby 222 script pages at the final table read, two leads walked out in silence. Production stalled 36 hours while agents frantically negotiated exit clauses. Netflix, smelling both PR disaster and ratings gold, doubled security on set and scheduled a surprise behind-the-scenes documentary. Money talks, cameras rolled. Yet knowing the plan didn't make filming easier, and what happened next would shake the cast to their core. Episode 4's childbirth flashback required actress Lee Jun to mimic a 13-hour labor. The scene shot in one unbroken take under blistering studio lights. Between each contraction, Lee whispered apologies to the silicone prop cradled in her arms, then burst into real tears when the director yelled cut. In an after-shoot livestream, Lee admitted, "I couldn't even look at the CGI infant playback without trembling. The line between fiction and reality vanished." Meanwhile, actor Park Sung, playing ruthless player 333, described rehearsing his soon-to-be iconic betrayal while dripping sweat onto a foam bridge 10 meters above ground. "The baby's cry looped through speakers," he said, "so every take felt like I was sacrificing a real kid." He left the set to vomit twice. Yet emotional carnage wasn't the only nightmare, because the baby itself triggered a digital uproar. To protect real infants, VFX artists rendered Baby 222 in post-production. The result? A hauntingly realistic face that occasionally landed in the uncanny valley. TikTokers spliced freeze frames with vintage video game sprites, birthing the meme, PlayStation 2 Baby. Reddit's r/Squid Game overflowed with side-by-side GIFs comparing the newborn to early 2000s cutscenes, while critics blasted Netflix for skimping on render farms. The VFX supervisor clapped back on Instagram, posting a price breakdown. $1.2 million for a single crying sequence. He insisted frames were intentionally stylized to avoid exploiting an actual child. Fans either applauded the ethical stance or doubled down on the plastic baby jokes. But petty memes couldn't prepare viewers for the betrayal that rewired the entire season's moral compass. The iconic glass panels stretch into darkness, each step a potential plunge. Gi-hun, player 456, inches forward, baby in a sling. Suddenly, his supposed ally, player 333, switches teams mid-sequence, shoving opponents onto tempered explosives while whispering, "For the child." Viewers screamed, YouTubers posted instant reaction compilations. One clip titled, "I threw my phone at 3:07, hit 1 million views in 8 hours. Why would 333 betray the alliance? Later flashbacks reveal he'd lost a toddler in real life, driving him to protect baby 222 at all costs, even if it meant massacring everyone else. The reveal humanized a villain and fractured the fanbase. Some hailed him a tragic hero, others called him a sociopath in disguise, but the deadliest game was still to come. The last challenge introduces a devastating twist. Contestants must vote either to eliminate the baby and split 60 billion cash-in million, or spare the child and walk away empty-handed. No middle ground. The frontman grins beneath his mask, calling it the purest form of democracy. The vote, filmed in a single, suffocating close-up, begins with silent, trembling hands. One after another, players slam red tokens to condemn the child, rationalizing that an infant has no awareness of life or death. Ji-hun, shaking, casts the lone green vote for mercy. A tie forces a sudden death runoff. In one of the most gut-wrenching moments in streaming history, player 333 hurls himself onto a spike pit, tipping the count in favor of the child's survival. Blood pools beneath neon lights. The baby wails. Ji-hun collapses, clutching the infant as alarms blare. Game over. Fade to black. End credits roll with no epilogue. Social media ruptures. Think pieces sprout like weeds. Psychologists debate whether the show exploited empathy or weaponized it for ratings. And yes, Netflix viewership numbers eclipse Stranger Things in 48 hours. But where can the franchise possibly go from that ending? Because loose ends have a habit of crawling back. At a low-key press event in Busan, Hwang hinted Season 4 might pivot to an anthology format, each year spotlighting a different nation's twisted take on the games. He dangled the idea of The Survivor, a spin-off tracking baby 222 as a disillusioned adult hunting the organization that gambled with her life. Writers are said to be researching real-world social experiments and historically brutal children's playgrounds. Netflix's chief content officer smirked when asked about renewals, replying, "Audiences vote with their streams." Insiders claim merch strategies are already in motion. Limited edition Player 222 plushies, ironically age-rated 17+, VR bridge simulators, and an ARG that drops cryptic phone numbers across global billboards. Fans either salivate or swear off the show forever. Regardless, algorithms devour engagement, and the green jumpsuit marches on. So, was Season 3 a fearless mirror reflecting our darkest impulses? Or proof that Squid Game finally crossed the line between poignant satire and outright exploitation? The newborn gamble forced viewers to pick a side, the cast to confront their limits, and Netflix to discover controversy is its most potent marketing weapon. Whether you're cheering Hwang's audacity or ready to slam the unsubscribe button, one truth remains. Nobody walked away untouched. Now the question is yours. Did Squid Game break new ground or break itself? Drop your hottest take below, because if history tells us anything, the games are far from over, and your comment might just shape what happens next.